Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Hope you all are safe and maintaining the guideline to stay safe and staying at home. See, during homestay, I have also changed my look. Let's come to our topic today. The journey of a manager or from a manager to a leader. We often use these two terms almost synonymously. Even many of the organization, designation wise also it looks more or less synonymous. But have you given a deeper thought of whether the manager and leader are actually synonymous or not? Let's go with the definition. But before going there, even though these two words are interchangeably used quite often, but they are actually not the same. Now, if we look at the definition, how do they look? The meaning of a manager is a person who is responsible for a group of people or an organization or group of staff, which clearly says whoever manages one or more people, supervise their work and own the outcome of their work is termed as manager. Clear? Now, let's see the meaning of the word leader. Definition wise, it says it is a person who leads or commands a group of people or an organization or a country. Are both not sounding similar? Actually they are. So here, responsible of controlling one or more people and leads or command group of people. So how much difference can we see? Perhaps the number of people broadly is the difference. Is that so? Is that what is coming out? So does it mean that if someone is responsible for few people, then he or she is a manager? If the same person is responsible for more number of people, then he or she will be called leader? Is it true? Does it mean that when someone moves up in the organization ladder, he will become a leader from a manager? Confusion starts from there only. Though from definition and also designation at various different organizations seems that when someone moves up in the organization ladder, he or she becomes a leader from a manager. Ladder and leader sound similar. So, meaning wise also similar. But the reality is different. So, let's see the real meaning or real responsibility or real difference between a manager and a leader. So a manager, truly saying, is someone who is responsible for some people. He or she is a person who gives the command to get some work done by his or her team and owns the responsibility of the work till there, ideally. But a leader is someone who is responsible for the people. This means the leader is responsible for the growth of his or her team. A leader is responsible for mentoring, coaching his or her team members. A leader is responsible for well-being of his team members. Much broader aspect, much bigger span, we can say. A true leader is a friend, philosopher, coach, mentor and guide for his or her team members. Team member may like or hate their manager, but they always love and respect their leader. Why? Because they found that leader is almost like a father figure for them, who stands like a big banyan tree over them, give them shelter whenever required, and also give them mentoring, coaching and everything, helps them to grow, right? So, it's up to us. It's up to us whether we want to be satisfied or happy as being a manager or want to become a leader. If we want to become a leader, then let me share some thoughts and ideas based on my experience with all of you. Let's see what are the key ingredients that transform a manager to a leader. Number one, a leader must be an active listener, which means he or she does not interrupt others who is speaking. He or she always listen with empathy, not being judgmental. Also, they always encourage the good ideas or thoughts of the team members. While listening, they pay attention to the speaker and maintain eye contact. Last but not the least, they never criticize the speaker. They might have to critical about the thought or an idea of the speaker or the idea presented by the speaker, to be precise, but not the speaker in person. So you may ask why I have picked up an active listening as the first trait of a successful leader. The reason is a people manager, that is who manages people, who have people reporting to them, usually spends 35 to 40% of their time in listening. But the amazing fact is, out of the time spent in listening, only 25% time spent as active listening or active listener or inactive listening. So remaining 75% we don't listen properly. That's why I picked up the active listener part as the first one. That is the most important trait a leader should have. Also, this shows why active listening is critical for transforming a manager to a leader. Remember, because of these qualities, a leader is always respected by people around them. If you establish yourself as a leader, you will find managing your team will become much more easier, and also the attrition level will also go down much lower. Even if people have to leave your organization, then in the first possible chance they would like to come back to your organization, your team to be precise, because they always cherish to work a leader like you. Moving to second point, second trait. A leader must have high emotional quotient, which means that their reactions are always predictable, measured. They never behave in a way which hurt others. They are polite and composed in the toughest and the tensed situations also. They are conscious of their own and others' feeling. People who are trained and have high emotional intelligence never react on a haste. They know how to control their emotional outburst. Don't think that they don't get tensed. Don't think that they are not fearful on certain situations. They are. They are also human beings. But they know how to handle these situations. If you observe, all the great leaders have the following qualities. What are those? 1. Self-awareness. They are aware of their own strength and limitation. Second one, they are self-confident. They are confident about what they are doing and confident about their decision. They are confident to take the decision. They usually are open for constructive criticism. If they make a mistake, they don't hesitate to accept the mistake and say sorry. Finally, fourth, good leader possesses good sense of humor. Do you like a person, maybe your supervisor or leader per se, who is always have a grumpy face? No, right? Nobody like them. People actually hate them. Coming to the third trait. A leader is someone who leads by example, very important, meaning the person acts the way he or she preaches. He will be punctual, he will be honest and ethical from all the aspects. Leader says that we should all work 8 hours in a day, and he or she himself or herself works only 5 hours in a day. No. Fourth trait. Leader trust their people. They are not control freaks. They identify the right person for the right job, mentor them in a way so that the person or the people can start working independently very shortly. Once that happens, then the leader takes up some new initiative and moves on, and those people whom he or she have groomed, they takes up the charge, takes up the responsibility. That is one great quality of a leader. Bringing up people up to the speed. Number 5. Another very important aspect of a successful leader is most of the time they are out of the box thinkers. Now, that's not always easy, very honestly. Now, for that what we need to do? Encourage ourselves to think out of the box, which means we need to spend some time with ourselves, and it might be in a quiet place, and think about new or what next we should do to improve the performance of your organization, department or people, whatever we are responsible for. Right? Sometimes it's good to have disruptive thinking as well and challenge the status quo. Especially in the big organizations, established organizations, sometimes they are very rigid to change because they have seen certain things, certain processes are going on for ages, right? So they are very rigid. They don't think about or they don't feel that any change will be positive, will bring any value, will add value. That's wrong. So these great leaders often try to break that thought process and bring a new change, which of course good for the organization. Even if the person is at the top level of the organization, they don't implement that change in the whole organization. They do it usually in a pilot basis, in a small piece, small part. Implement it, see the result. If it is successful, implement it in a bigger scale, right? All right. So that's all for today. Hope this will help you to identify where do you stand in terms of a manager or a leader, and these small tips will help you to start your journey to become a respected leader. Now, here we have talked about active listening. If you want to know more about active listening, you can take the course in Udemy named Active Listening, the Key to Be a Successful Leader. For emotional intelligence also, a new course will be available in Udemy by me couple of weeks time. So, thanks again, thanks for listening and thanks for your time. See you soon with something new. Thank you.